To all. This one is the first presentation on the basis of the fifth chapter, complex number and quadratic equation. We are familiar about the term quadratic equation. In class 10th we have learned this concept of quadratic equation. We are learning that concept from the earlier classes, class 8th, quadratic polynomial. Then that quadratic polynomial we are putting equal to 0, we are getting quadratic equation. And complex number, if you remember, then from the earlier time we are dividing the number system in the mathematics into two part. First one is real number and the other one is complex number. Then up to class 10th you are reading the numbers, then that numbers, all the numbers are real number. And if you are remembering some question of a quadratic equation when you are solving in class 10th, then in some question we are getting the value in the square root negative. Then in that question we are, what we are writing there, we are writing this equation as imaginary root, we are writing this equation as no real root. Then that roots are, that values are complex number. If you are getting the negative number in the square root, then we are calling that as complex number. Then let us start this chapter with some general instruction. Then what we know about the complex number, then this you have to remember. We are generally calling this as the imaginary quantity. The square root of a negative real number is called an imaginary quantity or imaginary number. For example, under root minus 3, under root minus 7 by 2, under root minus 2. Any value if you are getting negative in the square root, then that value we are calling as imaginary quantity or imaginary number. The quantity, if you are observing minus under root minus 2, then this can be written as under root 2 into under root minus 1. Means any negative value we are able to write like this in the multiplication of under root minus 1. Then this value under root minus 1 is an imaginary number and it is denoted by I. I is equal to under root minus 1, and this we are calling as iota. I, we are calling I as iota. And I, we know I is equal to square root of minus 1. If you are making the square on both sides, then what you are getting? In the left hand side we are getting I square, and square root of minus 1 you are getting minus 1. Means the value of I square we are getting minus 1. I is square root of minus 1. Then I square we are getting minus 1. Similarly, if you are finding I cube, then I cube is the product of I square and I. Then what we are getting? We are getting minus I. And if you are finding the value of I raised to power 4, means I square into I square, means minus 1 into minus 1, we are getting plus 1. And these four values you have to remember. I raised to power 1 you are getting under root minus 1. I raised to power 2 we are getting minus 1. And I raised to power 3 we are getting minus I. And I raised to power 4 we are getting 1. And if you are observing the concept here, then when you are getting the question having any integral value of I, then we are solving like this. Means we are going to divide that power by 4, and then the remainder we are getting, what possible remainders we are getting? Either you are getting 0, 1, 2, 3. If you are dividing any value by 4, then either you are getting the remainder as 0, 1, 2, 3. And the complex number, if you are calling, then complex number are of the form, we are representing complex number by z, and z is equal to x plus iy. And then what is x, what is y? Then x and y are the element of real number here, and this form is called complex number. Z is equal to x plus iy is called complex number. And if you are observing the values of z, z is equal to x plus iy, then x is real part and y is imaginary part we are calling. The number x and y are called real and imaginary part. X we are calling as the real part and y is in the multiplication of iota, then we are calling that part as imaginary part. Sometimes we are getting the question, these kinds of values are written, then it means that the real value of z, and z is a complex number, then the real value of the given complex number. Same for y is the imaginary value of given complex number if the complex number is of the form x plus iy. Then two more terms are related to this, and the first one we have purely real and purely imaginary. Purely real part is that part in which we are not getting the imaginary value, and purely imaginary part is that part in which we are not getting the real value. Then a complex number z, we are calling that complex number as purely real if its imaginary part is 0. If you are not getting the imaginary value, then that is only a complex number that is purely real. Means all the real numbers are complex number also. And imaginary, it means that imaginary z is equal to 0. And which we are calling as purely imaginary, then in which the real part is equal to 0, then that complex number is purely imaginary. Then equality of complex number. If two complex numbers are equal, then the real part is equal to the real part and the imaginary part is equal to imaginary part. If you are taking two complex numbers, z1 is equal to a1 plus I b1 and z2 is equal to a2 plus I b2, and these two are equal, then if you are observing the real part, we are getting a1 a2, then here is mistaken, a1 is equal to a2. And the imaginary part, if you are observing, then you are getting here b1 and here you are getting b2, then b1 is equal to b2. That is, the real part of the first complex number is equal to the real part of second one, and the imaginary part of first complex number is equal to imaginary part of second one. Let us take an example. Suppose this is given, x plus iy is equal to 2 minus 3i, and we have to find the values of x and y. Then clearly it is observed, here the real part is x and here the real part is 2, means the value of x we are getting 2. And here the imaginary part, if you are observing, then here we are getting y and here we are getting minus 3, then y is equal to minus 3. These two are the values of x and y. Then addition of complex number. If you are taking the complex number z1 as x1 plus iy1 and z2 as x2 plus iy2, and we are going to add these two numbers, then what we are getting, z1 plus z2 if you are finding, then the real part is added to the real part and the imaginary part is added to the imaginary part. We are taking I common, then we are getting x1 plus x2 plus iy1 plus y2. Same for the subtraction. Before this we have some properties of addition. Then commutative law, it follow, if a complex number you are taking, then if you are adding any to z1 and z2, two complex number if you are adding, then that value is equal to the sum of z2 and z1. Associative law also it follows, z1 plus z2 plus z3 is equal to, we are getting here mistaken, z1 is mistaken here, z1 plus z2 plus z3. Additive identity also it follows, if you are adding 0 to the given complex number, then that value is equal to the complex number, and this is called the additive identity. Then the subtraction is here, we have, if you are taking the complex number as z1 and z2, then the difference of these we are getting as z1 minus z2, then the real part is subtracted from the real part and imaginary part is subtracted from the imaginary part, then we are getting the values as x1 minus x2 plus I If you are taking common, then y1 minus y2. Suppose you are taking two complex number, first one you are taking as 2 plus 3i, and second one you are taking as 1 plus I. And if you have to subtract these two, then 2 minus 1 we are getting 1, and 3 minus 1 we are getting 2, means 1 plus 2i is the subtraction of these two. Then the multiplication we have, if you are taking the complex number as z1 and z2, and the values you are taking as x1 plus I y1, x2 plus I y2, and if you are multiplying these two, then what we are getting, x1 is multiplied with these two terms, and I y1 is also multiplied with these two terms. But one thing we have to remember, I into I we are getting I square, then that value we are getting minus 1. I square is minus 1, and if you are solving that value, then we are getting as x1 x2, means the real part, minus y1 y2, means the imaginary part, the product of real part minus the product of imaginary part, plus I into x1 y2 plus x2 y1. In properties, if you are observing here, then the product also, the multiplication also follow the commutative law, z1 into z2, you are getting that value equal to z2 into z1. Associative law also, it follows multiplication, z1 into z2, and if you are multiplying that value by z3, and that value is equal to the product of z2 into z3 into z1. Then multiplicative identity we have z into 1. For addition it follows additive identity, and for multiplication we are getting multiplicative identity. Then z into 1 we are getting z, and 1 into z we are getting z. It means that it follows multiplicative identity. Now here we have the division, and if we have to divide, then if you are remembering class 9th concept of rationalization, if in the square root you are getting irrational values, and if the irrational value you are getting in the denominator, then you are going to rationalize that value. Then the same concept we are doing here in the division, because the complex number you are getting in the division in the denominator, it means that that complex number having the square root, and for this reason we are going to rationalize that value. But for rationalizing the complex number, we have to just multiply that number by the conjugate of this, and the conjugate concept we are going to learn further. Before this, let us take the division here. Then z1 I am taking as x1 plus I y1, and z2 I am taking as x2 plus I y2, and these two are complex number, then their division is, then we are getting x1 plus I y1 upon x2 plus I y2. And if you are rationalizing this, means if you are multiplying by the conjugate, then in the denominator what we are getting x2 plus I y2 into x2 minus I y2. Then we are observing a plus b into a minus b identity we are getting, and if you are using that concept of a square minus b square, then again you are getting I square, then the value we are getting as a square plus b square, because I square is minus 1. We are getting the identity same as a plus b into a minus b, that is a square minus b square. But the value of I, if you are making the square of I, then we are getting minus 1. For this reason here the minus minus become plus, and in the denominator you are observing x2 whole square plus y2 whole square. Then here we have the conjugate of a complex number. If a complex number is given z is equal to x plus iy, then if you are replacing I by minus I, means we are going to change the sign of the imaginary part. In the question, if the value is negative of the imaginary part, then we are taking the conjugate, and in the conjugate you are getting the positive value of imaginary part. then z is x plus iy. Then if you are finding the conjugate of z, then we are getting x minus iy. For example, if the number is given to you complex number as 3 minus 2i, and if you have to find the conjugate of this value, then directly we are able to write 3 plus 2i, only change the sign of imaginary part. Suppose the question is minus 3 minus 2i, then we are getting the conjugate of this as minus 3 plus 2i. Again we are just changing the sign of imaginary part only. Then here we have some properties of conjugate, and if you are finding the conjugate of the conjugate, then we are getting the same complex number, and if you are adding the conjugate to the given complex number, then the imaginary part will get cancelled out because the sign of these two are opposite but equal in magnitude, means only the real part we are getting. For this reason we are getting 2 into real part of complex number. Similarly we have many more properties here. If you are observing, all these you are getting in the NCERT book also. Then go through these properties. You may take any values of z, you may take any example, then easily you are able to prove these properties. You will get the proof of these. Then the concept we are getting of modulus of a complex number. Then modulus, if you are taking the complex number z as x plus iy, then the positive square root of the sum of square of real part and square of imaginary part. If the complex number you are taking as x plus iy, then the real part we are getting as x and the imaginary part we are getting as y. And in the square root, if you are making the square of real and imaginary part and then you are adding, then that value is the modulus of the given complex number, and it is represented by mod z. Then mod z is equal to under root x square plus y square for this complex number x plus iy. Suppose if the complex number is given 2 plus 3i, and if 2 plus 3i is given, and you have to find the modulus of this or mod of this complex number, z is given 2 plus 3i, then mod z, the value of mod z you are getting as in the square root 2 square plus 3 square, real part square plus imaginary part square. And 2 square we are getting 4 and 3 square we are getting 9, means 4 plus 9 is 13, means modulus we are getting as root 13. Then one more value we have the multiplicative inverse of a complex number. If you are taking z as x plus iy, then multiplicative inverse means the reciprocal of a complex number. And if you are taking the reciprocal, then that we are representing by z inverse, z raised to power minus 1 if you are observing here, and this is written as 1 upon z raised to power minus 1. And if you are putting the value of z, then you are getting the complex number here in the denominator, and if you are getting this, then we are going to multiply this value, multiplying and dividing this value by the conjugate of x plus iy. Then we are multiplying and dividing here x minus iy, x minus iy. And if you are solving, then in the denominator we are getting x square plus y square, a plus b into a minus b concept we are using here, and I square is minus 1. For this reason in the complete chapter you are getting the identity a plus b a minus b, but we are getting the plus sign here. Then the purely real part if you are observing, then x upon x square plus y square, and imaginary part you are observing here minus y upon x square plus y square. Let us solve a question, and here we have to evaluate this I raised to power 19 and 1 upon I raised to power 25. What I have told you earlier, if any integral power you are getting for I, then you have to divide that value by 4 first, and then you have to check the remainder. For example, suppose 19, if you are dividing 19 by 4, then 4 times we are getting 16 and the remainder we are getting 3. Means 19 can be written as 4 into 4 plus 3. D is equal to D into Q plus R. This concept we are using. Remainder we are getting as 3 here. And if this value you are writing 19, you are writing as 4 into 4, then I raised to power 19 you may write like this, I raised to power 4 into 4 and plus 3, then I raised to power 3. Means I19 can be written as I raised to power 4 into 4 raised to power 4 into I cube. Bases are same, then power are added, you are getting I raised to power 19. If you are solving this, and I raised to power 4, the value of I raised to power 4 we know 1, then 1 raised to power 4 into I cube. 1 raised to power 4 is 1 and I cube you are getting as minus I. Only 4 values we have to remember. Similarly, we are able to find for I raised to power 25. Then let us solve this question, and if you are solving this, then I raised to power 19 we are getting as I raised to power 3, and I raised to power 25, if you are solving further, we are getting this value equal to I. Then if you are multiplying by the conjugate and putting the value of I cube, we are getting minus I here plus I3 upon I4. I raised to power 4 we know it is 1. Then what we are getting? Minus I plus I cube, and I cube is also equal to minus I. Then we are getting minus I means minus 2I. If you are making the square, then we are getting 4I square here, and I square is minus 1, then 4 into minus 1 we are getting the final answer as minus 4. Let us solve one more question here, and in this question we have to find the conjugate of this value. Conjugate, we know we have to change the sign of imaginary part only, but what we are observing in the question here, we are getting in the denominator the irrational value. It means that we have to multiply and divide this by the conjugate of this before finding the final solution. Then let us solve this. We are multiplying and dividing by the conjugate of this value 3 plus 4i. Then in the numerator we are getting 3 minus 4i, and in the denominator we are getting the identity a plus b into a minus b. And if we are solving further, then we are getting 3 minus 4i upon 9 plus 16, and the sum of these two we are getting as 25. And if you are separating the real and imaginary part, then we are getting 3 upon 25 minus 4 upon 25i. Then if you have to find the complex conjugate of that value, then clearly we are changing the sign of imaginary part just only, and we are getting the required conjugate. Solving and then changing the sign of imaginary part. Let us solve one more question here, and in this you have to express this complex number in standard form. Standard form means z is equal to x plus iy. This is the standard form of a complex number. Then first of all we have to solve this, because in the numerator we are observing 1 plus I whole square. In the denominator we are observing a complex number, means we are going to multiplying and dividing by the conjugate of this value 3 minus I. Then let us solve this question. And z we are getting as 1 plus I whole square upon 3 minus I. Then we are multiplying and dividing by 3 plus I. And if you are doing this, and if you are expanding the formula for 1 plus I whole square, we are getting 1 plus 2I plus I square. Then on solving, I square is minus 1, means 1 and this value will get cancelled out. We are just getting 2I. 2I multiply with 3 plus I, and in the denominator 3 minus I into 3 plus I. Then if you are multiplying the numerator, we are getting 2i into 3 as 6i and 2i into I as 2i square. Value of I square we know, minus 1. Then we are putting further, and in the denominator we are getting the identity a square minus b square. And if you are solving further, then we are getting as 6i minus 2 upon 10. And if you are separating the real and imaginary part, then we are getting minus 1 upon 5 plus 3 upon 5i. And the conjugate of this value we are getting by changing the sign of the imaginary part, then we are getting as minus 1 upon 5 minus 3 upon 5i. Then on the basis of these, you are able to solve all the questions of the first exercise. Then you have to solve all these questions in the fair notebook. Fourth chapter, the mathematical induction, is removed by the CBSE board this time. Then you have to go through this concept of chapter number 5, complex number, and you have to solve all these questions by taking the help of this video. Sai Ram to all.